Welcome to the Agents Lounge podcast, where we talk all things real estate with the industry's top performers. Join us as we dive into the inspiring journeys of successful agents and uncover the secrets to their success. Whether you're a seasoned agent or just starting out, we got the tips and tricks to help you navigate the world of real estate. Brought to you by Airtegrity Comfort Solutions. So grab a seat and join us in the Agents Lounge.
So this is episode 10 of Agents Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Gaylor, co-host Francisco Bermudez Jr.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Miss Janet Wingrove with Keller Williams Heritage.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good.
And Miss Andrea Garza with San Antonio Quick Clean.
Quick dry.
Quick Dry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We can edit that out. It's not live. Sorry, Quick Dry. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Anyways, thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. Janet.
Yes.
So if you could just start us off, but like what did you do before you got into real estate, and what would actually pulled you into the real estate game?
Okay. So I got into real estate back in 2007. A long time ago.
I had to do the math.
I know, that's like almost 17 years ago.
Congrats.
And yeah, thank you. So the reason I got into real estate is I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was looking for a way to have a business while my daughter was in school, where I could still pick her up in the morning, or drop her off at school in the morning and then pick her up after school. So I decided to get my license and did it part-time for many years. When the money started coming in, I was like, ooh, I can do more of this.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you started part-time. Is that difficult to manage from going to like part-time to full-time? Did you have a hard time like actually getting a client base started part-time, or was it pretty easy for you?
Well, the goals were very different when I was part-time. At that point, I was just looking for something to do while my daughter was in school. So whether I made money or not wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
So when my daughter got into middle school, it's when I decided to really buckle down and change my business. So it's essentially I started all over, right? Because I went from part-time to full-time. So yes, I had to. It wasn't as easy. I had a database because I'd been working the business, but to really make the money I wanted to make, I had to build a bigger database. So yes, so it changed dramatically from working a couple hours a day to
nonstop?
Yeah. Working more than 8 hours a day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Was it part-time were you with Heritage, or how long has that been now?
No, I started with an independent broker, Kimberly Howell Properties, for many years. When I went full-time, I went to RE/MAX, and then I moved the team over to Heritage in October of last year.
Okay. Oh, wow. So it's really new.
Yes. Keller Williams is the newest part or brokerage that we've been with. So
nice. And how's that going? Is it?
It's excellent. And let me tell you why. So before, when I was with RE/MAX, a lot of the business day-to-day operational stuff was done by RE/MAX. I didn't have to worry about any of that. So moving over to Heritage, Keller Williams Heritage, they're more focused on the entrepreneur and building your own brand and business. And so essentially the operational part of running a business fell on to the team versus having the broker do it for you. So we had to revamp that part of our team where we could pay our own commissions, and we have our own bookkeeper. We hire a separate admin, our own transaction coordinator. So essentially, we're a business within a bigger company.
Right.
So, which is great.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
We've had a couple of people on from EXP.
Uh-huh.
So really what they value more than I feel like somebody like you might is their just free time. They don't have to go into an office. They usually like work from home.
Right.
Do you find any like, I guess the enjoyment of the team? You like get to team build more regularly. Y'all meet. I'm sure like you have an office, right, at Keller Williams. I know this, but yeah. So what do you think like the pros of meeting with your team is more often than somebody who's doing just like they have their own? Yeah.
Well, I love the concept of EXP and their model, their business model, because they have different ways for you to make income through their brokerage, through creating downlines. So the vision for the Empire Real Estate team is something similar to EXP, but we couldn't do that at RE/MAX, right? And so I wanted to find a brokerage where it would allow us to kind of expand our team structure and compensation structure. And so I shopped around. I did look at EXP, but they didn't have brick and mortar. And I'm I guess more traditional, old school. I love a place to go in and work, see the hustle and bustle, see the people moving around.
Yeah,
you know,
and see Eddie going crazy with his camera.
And so when you walk into the building, I mean, there's people that you see real estate. I mean, there's action everywhere, right? And to me, that's motivating, and it's important to me to separate business from my home life, because I did it part-time from home for a long time, and I just didn't want that same environment. I want to be able to go in and do what I need to do, then go home and kind of shut.
Oh, yeah, so you actually have more of a like dry cutoff. You're not like always in the office if you were working from home, right? So like...
Yes, and there's not, for me, when I go to the office, there's not as many distractions as versus working from home.
Yeah.
Which you have to be very disciplined to do that. And I know I can do it, but it's just for me to build what we want to build, we need a separate, like I need people coming to the office.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, I completely agree with you on that one. There are so many distractions to be had at home.
Exactly.
You mentioned that you did something to go from part-time to full-time to build your database.
Yes.
What were some of the strategies you used to build it?
Well, when I changed companies, I had a goal in mind of making X amount of dollars by the end of the first year. So I just started reading and then learning from other people that had done more than me or that were producing more than me, and I started kind of duplicating what some of these other people are doing and implementing it into my day-to-day. And I've done everything from a lot of cold calling, running ads for properties online. I've door knocked. The biggest thing is connections, is working your database and then making new connections through the people you know. So, and building those relationships.
Yeah. And I also see that, I mean, you're always holding events for your customers, right? You do casino night and the one for Thanksgiving, which is a pie giveaway. How does that help you?
So one of the things as the business grew, we can't be in front of everyone in our database, I guess, on a daily basis. So one way to nurture our sphere or clients is to hold these events. And it's kind of, there's a big purpose behind it, right? It's from what you do before the event to what you do during the event and what you do after. And of course, we love our clients, so that's part of it. Like we want an opportunity to mingle with everyone that comes, and we try to do that. But what it does is from the invite, you're calling, sending an invite, sending an email, or even texting your database. So it's a way of staying in touch with them prior to.
You do really well with that, actually, because after casino night, you and Brenda had sent the actual video to people. I got one, and I thought that was really cool, just like as a follow-up. It's a good idea.
It's just, and then during the event, of course, you mingle with everyone, right? And then after, you send your thank you. So it's just another way of staying in touch with your database. And the events are just one event a good way to focus on a lot of people at one time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do the pie giveaways every November, and sometimes we've done it at the same time where
I know.
we've tried to. You do it for your customers, and we do it for ours. But there's customers that we didn't go out to serve them this year, and they still get the invitation, and they come by and they swing by.
Yeah.
And they get very excited just because they got a pie.
Yes, and it's fun. And one thing that we've tried to include our referral partners like you guys. Like, even though you're a referral partner, we still try to include you in some of these events because we want you to continue to be our referral partner. So it's another way as well to utilize events and things to stay in contact with you guys. So
Yeah.
What about you, Andrea? What are some of the things y'all are doing to build your database?
Well, I have been in business a little over a year. So as a new business, you have to get your name out there. Takes a little bit, well, everybody knows, a little bit more effort at first. So right now we're still, doing the paper leads, but I'm trying to focus more on networking. Mm-hmm. I think, like you mentioned, relationships go a lot.
yes, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. So that is super important. That was one of my goals this year. Yeah.
So I actually have a question. When we were talking earlier, you mentioned that you have a couple of properties, right, that you own? Have you ever had a bad experience with a realtor? Not to put you on the spot. You can plead the fifth if you want. But I feel like this is a good topic if you have one.
No.
You never had a bad experience?
No.
You're one in a million from what I've heard.
Yeah, no. I don't know.Maybe I'm a good... I usually pick them.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it
by
a
referrals.
Based? Yeah. Yeah, that's
So,
usually a good way to go.
So, no bad experiences here.
Well, that's good.
Right?
What did you like about your realtors?
Me?
Yes.
I've only had one. She helped me for a couple of times. And she was super sweet. I think that something that I'm never going to forget is that she didn't let us buy the house that we wanted originally because she thought it was not a good fit. And now after seeing like 20 homes, this was for our primary home. After seeing 20 homes, I was done. I was like, just that one is fine. And she was like, no. And she just took a lot longer. She never submitted the paperwork. Yeah, she just took a lot longer. And then like the next day we found the actual home that we wanted. So
Awesome.
that was very thoughtful because, a lot of realtors, well, not a lot. I think that a lot actually care about their customers.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's always someone that is just there for the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Just quick, sale, and you don't want to be seeing 20, 30 properties,
Right.
So.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Buyer's remorse?
Buyer's remorse, yes.
Do you see that often in the industry?
I think sometimes, so you have to learn how to navigate the client through that, because sometimes, especially like if you have first-time buyers and it's such a huge purchase, that sometimes they'll put an offer in and then the next day they're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So you have to learn how to kind of break it down, like, from their monthly mortgage payment to what their closing costs are going to be, and then the value, like, well, this house, it's in a great area, just giving them the benefits of owning that home. And then sometimes they don't want to do it, and you've got to let them, if they don't want to, you can't. You have to be able to ride that out with them until you find, like the next house. So
Right.
Find the right one.
Yeah.
and the right one, correct.
So my favorite question to ask.
Uh-huh.
Do you, if I say what is a bad experience for you, or like a customer that gave you like a hard time, do you have one that immediately comes to mind? Like,
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't wait to hear this.
I think, Well, over the years, because I've been in almost 17 years, so I would love to say that it's been 100% super easy, but it's not. Like real estate, I feel it's very glamorized on TV, and it's nothing like that. So and you have to have difficult clients in order to develop and become a good agent and learn from those experiences. But my very first client, I cried at my brokerage because he was so hard. He had properties. All he wanted to do was seller finance these properties.
Yeah.
And then and I actually got them. I had on one of them in particular. I had a contract. And it wasn't a seller finance deal. Well, he wouldn't sign the paperwork, and the poor buyer was like, but I have a good contract, and he accepted it, then wouldn't sign the contract, and
what?
Yeah, so he was probably like one of the harder ones that I've dealt with. I've had a couple others, but it took him forever to sign, and the buyer, I just felt bad for him. They had their earnest money ready and things like that. But
how do you mitigate that? Yeah, like outside of, I would probably cry too, I think, at that, like, just like, because you're the middle person, right? And you try to mitigate.
Well, he was very, he was nasty. He called my brokerage and was saying bad words and stuff, and so... so I cried. That was like my very first deal, and it was a bad experience. But then, you kind of, you learn to navigate through that with the help of my broker at the time, and we made it through and everything, but yes.
Yeah.
It was hard.
So, like, how many, do you deal with, like, returning customers often? Is that a
repeat clients?
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things that, because one of the things that we say is that we like for each client to begin as a client, but they end up being lifelong friends and advocates for our business. And so we're very in tune to that, because with each client, it's not about us, it's about the client, right? And sometimes what we want is not what the client wants. And so just like you have to learn how to, I guess, respect that, because in the end it's a big purchase and they're spending a lot of money, right? And so we just try to advocate for the client and do the right thing. And so with that in mind, you build that relationship throughout the transaction with the client, and with the hope that the biggest return for us is a referral.
Right.
That they're going to give you, their family member that wants to buy a home, or their neighbor, or their work colleague, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how we make money. And so the way you treat that client is super important. And with that being said, we try to do the best job that we can, and we do end up with repeat clients from investors that continue to buy properties from us for many years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah, that just reminds me of Rita. It's about a relationship, right?
Yes, Rita from our group.
Yeah. That's interesting. So...
Well, that's kind of like you guys, right? With your repeat clients?
Yeah, we were very big on, which, like, if we do a superb job with a client all the way through, and that goes between, like, communication before the job starts, doing the job cleanly, and then having a good exit. And that's what we get a lot of clients from that.
Well, I will say that, like, with you guys, I know when I met Francisco, you're not what I would typically say is an AC company. So I feel like Francisco, like, the way he's built integrity as far as the work, the ethics, the integrity, makes such a big difference with your clients.
Yeah.
So even if you're not the least expensive one to call, but then you guys do so well that people want to do business with you, right? So it's kind of the same thing.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
For sure. So for our listeners, big question is, what is something that you wish you first knew when you first started, I guess? Like, what is something that you can look back and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have done this different maybe, or I wish I would have known this. Do you have anything that's...
Actually, one of the things I always tell young agents is I wish I would have started real estate when I was fresh out of college. Because
Really?
yes, because it's such an inexpensive business to get in, where if you put your head down and do everything that you can to make it, you can make very good money at a very young age.
Yeah.
And the other thing is taking some of the profit and putting it into real estate, like investing into properties, because real estate is an awesome investment that grows over time.
Isn't
and
it?
Yeah. And you can get paid really well through residual income or passive income.
Yeah. Didn't you say you got your daughter in part-time? Is that right?
No, I want her to. She when I was working the business, she would go with me to showings and things like that since she was little, and she knows it's a grind, and so she doesn't have the interest in it yet, but she does like the investment side of it because she sees what Dr. Murray does, and she's kind of following his path.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's going to be a chiropractor. And she's like, Mom, I think I'll become an investor instead of a real estate agent. So.
This is kind of just like an open question. Do we, any of us like have hobbies that lead into good referral partners? Like I know you're up at the gym like 5 o'clock every day. I see your Snapchat stories like when I'm getting up and it's been like 3 hours since you posted. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. So yes, I love going to the gym early, and I'm there by 5. And so what I learned, it's a great network. I get a referral business from the gym. I close, 5-6 houses a year from the gym.
Yeah.
And the reason I started going early is so that I wouldn't miss a workout, because if you try to work out in the afternoons and then you're trying to show houses, sometimes you can't do that. So the AM works well for me. Plus, it's a time when a lot of people go that have to go to work, and they're there. Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, little guy. They're there early, right? So I'm working out with the people that, sometimes maybe the decision maker, and so it's a great tool for networking.
A lot of the most disciplined people are up in the morning at the gym.
That's right.
And it's but like while everyone else is sleeping,
Nathan, and what time do you go to the gym?
It just depends on the day, Mr. Bermudez.
I need to get you in at the 5 a.m.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yes.
What about you, Ms. Garza?
Me? Well, for me right now, probably mom groups, honestly. I have 2 little ones, so I do a lot of networking with moms, and that's how I get the business out there. Facebook groups, I'm always at parks and playgrounds. It always comes up, so
right.
For me, that right now.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
So you mentioned you do cleaning for homes, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that, or how, like what products you use?
Well, we specialize on carpet cleaning, air duct cleaning, dry vents, tile and grout. We also do upholstery and mattress cleaning. We also do, of course, move-in, move-outs, regular house cleanings, commercial cleanings, but our main focus is floors, like I mentioned, carpets, all of that.
How did you get started?
Well, in 2007, I've always liked businesses. My husband and I, we've always kind of like had that entrepreneurial side. And in 2017, we had an escape room. But, of course, the pandemic happened. The landlord sold the building. We shut down. And after that, we were kind of like thinking, okay, what else can we do that's not brick and mortar, that cannot get shut down, and that's probably more of a need. So that's why we fell into the cleaning business. It's a need. It's repetitive. And it's once you get the system, down, it's pretty easy.
And you mentioned that you and your husband work together.
Well, not right now. No, I run the business by myself, pretty much. He helps me with if there's any issues with the equipment or anything like that. But I do most of the bulk of the work.
My wife and I tried working together, and just a mess.
It didn't work out. Yeah, I know.
We rather each have our own projects and
Right.
not worry about it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Before we close out, I usually do this as an icebreaker for the opening, but
Okay.
I just ask a random question. Let's see. If you had a superpower for a day, what would it be, and why?
Superpower for a day.
Just a day.
Yeah, just a day. You have 24 hours. 24 hours.
Superpower for a day for 24 hours. What would it be? I don't know. What would yours be?
I don't know. Francisco, do you have one?
I mean, I would like to be able to play soccer really good.
24 hours?
24 hours.
Manchester United or I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, guys, if you put me in today, we'll probably win.
Yeah, just
You
the
wanna
ability to see like Powerball numbers if you could time it right.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be it for me.
Yeah. I was thinking something money related, like if I could have something like a way to make all this money in 24 hours and be able to keep it. Like,
Right.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of power that would be.
Printing money for 24 hours.
Printing my own money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, counterfeit money.
Do you have
For
one?
me,
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know why I always have dreams about flying.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
I do. I don't know why. Just flying and just taking off anywhere really fast.
Yeah, that would be fun too.
Yeah.
You get to see a lot in 24 hours.
Yeah, that would be excellent, actually. Yeah.
Just don't fall asleep in a foreign country. You're going to be like, at the end of the 24 hours, you're stuck there.
Yes.
The last guy we had on, Zeke, he was interesting. That's the most original answer I've ever heard. He said that he just would like people to answer the phone whenever he called.
For 24 hours.
Yeah, he's like really into just like cold calling and stuff. So he's just like, I want them to answer every time I call.
That is hilarious.
I know, that was funny. But Janet, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah,
You too. I appreciate the input. And I guess that'll wrap it up for today.
All right. Well, thank you. It was
Thank
fun.
you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Of course.
You've been listening to the Agents Lounge podcast, brought to you by Airtegrity Comfort Solutions. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or to listen to past episodes, please visit agentsloungepodcast.com.